Hey guys, Utah Steve here, back for another video, and joining me, Mr. T-Max, the legend.
One and only.
Yes.
And at least that.
That's right. We are on Antelope Island today, and we are in the middle of nowhere, as you can tell. That's our middle of nowhere. We are surrounded by campers. So we're at the Bridger Bay campground. We went with spot number 17, and we're just getting set up. Got the T-Max mobile. Hey, you kept your same plate for Idaho.
Oh, I had zoomage.
Oh, zoomage.
Yes,
now it's cheapage. All right, cheapage. So right now we're just getting set up, trying to get organized. This is just obviously a car camping trip close to home. Joe drove all the way down from Idaho, where he lives now, so that we could do an overnighter here. We haven't camped together in a year. The last time was our desert camp out last year when we thought we found a grave. Disturbing. You see the shape of this hole? It's about the size of a human body. This is the desert, after all. You know, they say people bury bodies in the desert. So I'm taking Mr. T-Max here. I don't know, I just call you Joe. Yeah, it's really annoying. I mean, it is amusing. But I'm taking him over here to show him what I found that I showed you guys already, and see what he thinks of it. Where was it? It's over there. This.
That's different.
Uh-huh. See the shape and the size of it?
Yep.
What's the first thing you think of?
Someone's buried there.
Yeah.
Someone buried something. It looks like.
Why else would that be there? It's not really a fire type area.
I mean, it looked like it was all piled up over here and then moved back. So
Yep.
I don't know.
And it's the size of a human being.
It's the size of your weed. That looks sketchy.
It does. Anyway, so we're gonna get set up. I'm probably gonna put my snug pack bunker tent right over here in this spot. There's no designated spot, but Joe will probably set up over there. Right now it's a little breezy, temperatures around 50. There's a storm coming in tonight. As you can see, it's kind of creeping in out that way. That's the Great Salt Lake. And the clouds are encroaching. Probably overnight while we're asleep, we will get inundated with rain, possibly snow mixture. Joe has dinner tonight, I have breakfast, and yeah, should be good. I think I'll start with setting up the tent. Okay, so the bunker is set up. What I've done is I've guided out all the way around since there's a storm coming in. Don't know if it'll get windy, but better safe than sorry. Oh, I missed one. I'll have to take care of that. Anyway, what I've done is I've anchored it down, and this is a lot of gravel. Hey, Penny. I'm rich. Squirrel. I've anchored this down really well, and then I've covered it with gravel as added weight and security. So there's that. I've shown the inside before, but what the heck. There's the inside of the bunker. It's got 2 doors, and it's very dark. Let's go look at Joe and see what he's doing before we throw our bedding into here for the night. Is this new?
It is, yeah.
Wow. Ultralight.
Pretty light. It's 2.5 pounds if you use your hiking poles.
Yeah.
As soon as I get on camera.
My phone's ringing.
I go brain dead.
Okay, so what is this called? Flames Creed? Is that the brand or the tent?
I'm not sure what's going on. The brand is 3F UL gear.
Okay.
And this has been called the Lanshan too. And it still was when I bought it, but there's also Flames Creed now, I guess, with some of their stuff. So
cool. I really like it.
Thank you.
What does this run? Like $8,000?
At least. maybe yen.
Yen.
This was $100 delivered.
Really?
Yeah. 2.5 pounds.
Ah. Got my wheels turning. That's my price range.
Right. Well, this is my second time setting it up. And the first time I looked at it really closely, and it seems like it's well made.
Awesome.
I don't have any complaints.
Guess we'll find out if it's waterproof, huh?
Yeah. We just might tonight.
Oh, look. All right. I didn't even realize it had the bug net inside it.
Yeah.
I thought it was super ultralight where they just use the rain flag.
Oh, yeah. I think I'd be getting wet all the time if it was like that.
That's sweet. You still have that other tent from last year, the one that fit in a bottle? That little, what was it called? That yellow one?
Yeah, the Sierra Designs.
So this is Joe's new tent. Sierra Designs. What's it called?
Flashlight 2 UL, I think. Nice. I don't even know. It's pretty sad.
Yeah, it is incredibly roomy inside for an ultralight. Look at that. It's crazy. Yeah, and bright, cheerful. Cool.
This was more up my alley, I think.
Yeah.
Light, better in the wind, and
it's going to breathe well, that's for sure.
Well,
better than my tent.
Yeah, but yours can endure a hurricane.
And who knows, maybe there's one on the way. Let's throw our sleep pad, sleeping bag, pillow, electric blanket, vibrating recliner into the bunker. Actually, just sleeping bag and sleep pad. And get comfy in there. Thermarest self-inflating sleep pad, courtesy of Mr. T-Max from about, I don't know, a couple years ago. He gave me this. There you go. These are so well made you can't even get them out of the bag. You have to set it on the bench and force it out. Okay, this is, never mind, I'll just throw it on the ground. Had to do a drop test. This is also a Thermarest product. This is my pillow. I've used this many times and it's very comfortable. And I brought my Teton Sports 5-degree bag. It's not going to nearly be that cold. It'll probably be upper 30s tonight. And I already complained about using a mummy bag, but I was already packed and I forgot my jungle blanket, so mummy bag it is. Comfort be damned.
Here, here. Look, Joe.
Right above Joe's Jeep. Tatanka. A lot of them out grazing. May even get some through our campsite during the night. This is the disaster known as Steve and Joe's camping table. Just a quick rundown of what I brought. Couldn't remember what I packed from 2 weeks ago. There's my multi-tool. Some Ziplocs, some cordage, and not a lot else left in here but some like beanies and winter gloves and that kind of thing that I probably won't even need. Headlamp, beanie. These are my fairy lights I bought. I don't know what you call them. I call them fairy lights.
Sounds like a good name.
Yeah. So they're going to go inside the bunker. I'm going to figure out how to rig them up in there so I have some nice ambient light in there.
Get your S-Pit, your S-Pit kit.
That's my S-Pit pot.
Look at that. You got mom and dad right here.
The one I've used over and over. Oh, look at that. Cute.
That's how dorky we are. Oh,
they're cuddling. Okay, I got my roll pack with my first aid, fire kit, and hygiene in it. Whoa, and sit pad, also a gift of Mr. T-Mac. Half my gear is, and a bunch of hot hands. I don't think I'll need those. And my bag of snacks was packed also a couple weeks ago. I really don't know what all's in here. And dinner and breakfast will be cooked in shifts between the two of us.
yeah.
So I don't know what's for dinner. He doesn't know what's for breakfast.
All I know is it better be good, or there's going to be trouble.
Do you like Apple Jacks?
I love it.
Anyway. Oh yeah. Look, Bob Jr. Of course.
And I got to meet the real Bob finally after, what, 3 years of knowing you.
Yep. Joe finally met Bob today. He came to my house and Bob liked him. Bob was quite pleased.
And that's what matters.
Yes.
Make Bob happy.
They were fast friends.
You don't argue with a 150-pound dog.
That's right. And I've got my brick, my 25,000 milliamp RAV power charger.
1.21 gigawatt.
Yes, flux capacitor. This is the first time using this, gear test time. This is a night core flashlight. Joe gave me a version of this. I think it was 800 lumens, something like that.
So that rechargeable version.
Yeah. And then I still have that.
Okay.
And then I got my hands on this one used.
Oh, nice.
It's 1,000 lumens.
Ooh.
Yeah. So it's like
Up in the ante.
yes,
Yeah.
but not rechargeable. You have to take the battery out, throw it on a charger instead of just plugging the flashlight.
Wow, that sounds exhausting.
It is. It's I about hurt my wrist twisting the thing.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yep. That's it. What's Joe got here? Look at this.
Oh man,
Look,
I came
Joe.
prepared because I didn't know what we were gonna get.
Yeah.
But we have the Dutch oven for tonight.
Yep. Nice. That's a cute little
Thank
oven.
you.
I like that thing.
I'm not telling you what I'm cooking though.
Okay. Raccoon. It's raccoon, isn't it?
That's raccoon.
You hit one on the way here.
It's a marmot.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. And then I have another 3FUL Flames Creed
Oh wow.
thing. This is a tarp. Believe it or not, it's amazing the prices you can get off AliExpress
Yeah.
if you're willing to not buy American. This is a 10 by 10 foot tarp, and it's really tough. I set it up for about a week, like in the wind and rain and everything.
Held up
Almost
well.
slept in it. Yeah.
Cool. You almost slept in it?
Man, it started snowing and windy.
Oh, yeah.
Windy, but it's like $24.
Really? I need to look up this brand, Flames Creed.
Yeah, or 3FUL.
The tent's reasonable. That's reasonable.
Yeah.
I may be changing up my setup.
There's some good deals on
What
it.
else we got here? He's got all kinds of
Got another.
goodness in the bag.
Yeah, alcohol stove. Set up another tarp just in case. My
Always
puffy
good to have
jacket.
more than one tarp.
Yep, food for tonight. Comfortable chair. Means to get charcoal started.
Cool.
Yeah.
Look at his little box of seasonings and whatnot.
Goodies.
I didn't even come that prepared, but I did pre-season breakfast.
Yes. And I brought ketchup.
So there's
for us
my
just in case.
ketchup.
Very nice. I
We
brought
have ketchup. That's a luxury because
Yes.
there's a camp out in the Uintas. Joe and I had burgers.
We had burgers.
You think your sandwich today was dry from Carl's Jr. These were the driest burgers ever.
Just so dry.
He forgot the condiments.
All of it. Yeah.
That's a video a few back if you go back a ways of it.
Yeah. I had a big cooler too, and it was
Yeah.
packed full of food. Half of it we didn't eat, but no condiments.
Nope. Yeah, it was awesome. So we had buns and was there cheese?
I think there was
There's
cheese.
buns, cheese, and meat. That was the sandwich. It wasn't bad.
Salt and pepper. That's salt and pepper.
And spit.
It's spit.
The spit helped moisten the bread. He's just inching closer to camp. Wow. I love the meadowlarks. I grew up in an area where there were meadowlarks everywhere, and the overpopulation of the area where I grew up, they eventually went away. So when I come out here and hear them, it reminds me of my childhood. I love that sound. So right now I'm just going to get organized in there and get I'm going to put all my gear in my tent, because if it rains like it's supposed to, then I don't want to be running out here in the night to grab everything. This awning is nice, but as you can see, it's only offering limited protection. It's pretty cool. We get a little table to work with and a decent fire pit. But given the choice, of course, the Uinta Mountains are calling my name as soon as all that snow on those mountains out there melts. For now, it's the desert.
Whoa!
This is insane. This buffalo's been making his way here for quite some time.
How far do you think it is?
50 yards?
That's probably around 150 feet.
Probably.
But there's about about 500. What we've seen is they're all over the place.
Just to give you an idea of how close this thing is to our camp, there's Joe. Yeah. He's really watching us close. He's on his guard. God, that's amazing. Doesn't give a crap that we're here. People better not get too close. A couple of years ago, a guy thought he would tease one, and he ended up in the hospital. True story. He's got an itch or something. He's been rubbing his face on the table. Of course, as soon as I start filming, he stops doing it. There we go.
That's why they come over here.
He's right on the edge of that. He just keeps staring us down, too. It's kind of freaky. He doesn't decide to get in a bad mood and come this way.
Rowdy.
Yeah, awesome. He's getting ready to charge. I'm only half joking.
I have to leave you.
Yeah. Time to get the fire ready, huh?
Yeah,
It's getting to be that
stuff
time.
Going anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, he keeps licking.
This is insane. He's crossing the road towards our camp. Where's he gonna go? Everybody's coming out to see it. Seriously, that beast would tear you up. Yep, that's right what I thought he would do. I said he was gonna cross there and cut down through here, and that's just what he's doing. way down.
We were wondering if there's another plant down here.
Yeah, maybe. Well, guys, this is proof right here. You never know what's going to happen when you get outside and give yourself a chance to have an adventure. We've been watching this guy walk through for quite some time, and can you imagine there are people who will go their entire lives that will never see a buffalo in real life outside of a zoo. They're all over this island. They're spread out all over Antelope Island. Every November they round them up, put them on a ranch here on the island, and in the spring, like right now, they let them go. It's pretty amazing watching him do his thing. Okay, so 2 nights ago, I work in a hospital. And I was working in the emergency room, and this guy comes in 4 in the morning. We haven't had any patients all night, really. It's been really slow. And he comes in and leans over the counter. He goes, "Yeah, I need to be seen." He's in his 60s. He looks like he just hopped off a tractor, off a farm. Really rough kind of character. The admitting clerk says, "Okay, what do you need to be seen for?" And he says, "Well, I'm kind of embarrassed to say."
Okay.
He's like, "Well, I can't put that in the computer. I have to know what you're here for." And he's like, "Well, my ex did something to me and I'm not proud of it." He's like, "Well, I still can't put that in the computer, dude. That's not a medical condition. We all have that problem, right?" So he's like, "My butt hurts."
Oh no.
Yeah. It's going exactly where yep. And it was where you think. Anyway, so he's like, "Okay, that's enough." So he puts it in the computer. I don't know if he put in, butt pain. I have no idea what he put in there, but the doctor needs to know before he sees him when he looks at the screen what the guy's been seeing.
They're pretty bad.
There was
they
come and get him about this long, about probably 8 inches.
Okay.
Up inside his rectum, and it was in there. It wasn't like hanging out. Sorry, you might want to make your kids leave the room.
This should have had a warning before.
Yeah, I'm not very good at thinking ahead like that. You work in a hospital and you see stuff, you don't think, "Oh, this is graphic." Anyway, so it was probably, the bottom of it was about 3 inches from the entrance, so it was up in there. And it had the top part of the flashlight had unscrewed and was even further, like 3 or 4 inches further up into his intestine.
All past the colon and everything.
Oh, yeah. It was up there.
That's nasty.
And he had to actually be admitted to the hospital, to the main hospital, where it was a freestanding ER. He had to be sent to the main hospital for surgery, have it surgically removed. And he claimed his ex did this to him while he was asleep.
There's no way.
There's no way someone's going to shove a flashlight up your hoo-ha
your bunghole
while you're asleep without you waking up.
They were goofing off.
And this guy...
why would you use a flashlight?
I don't know.
Do something like that?
They're trying to see him, got carried away. I don't know. I've always wondered what's
up there.
So
this might just end up on our private collection.
Oh my gosh, dude. And I'm trying not to laugh. And I made a joke that I did not mean to make. Not to the guy. The guy was gone. He wasn't around. Everybody. I don't care who you are. You work in the medical field. You're human. You're gonna joke about stuff. Sometimes really dark stuff that's just hard to process.
Yeah.
And so you have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah.
But I was talking to the admitting clerk after the guy left, and I said, "Man, that made my whole week." And this admitting clerk starts laughing. He's like, "Good one." And I was like, "What are you talking about?" He thought I meant HOLEWEAK.
Whole week.
That makes my whole week. I was like, no, I didn't mean that. And then we were both just rolling, and oh my gosh. That poor guy, he was so embarrassed to even come in. And I seriously looked like a farmer off a tractor. He did not look like somebody that would have a flashlight up his...
Yeah. A guy that would never even want to go to the hospital to begin with.
Yeah, maybe somebody might come in and be like, my kidneys hurt, I'm having chest pain. No, there's a flashlight up. I think it's a Nightcore 1000, you know? Anyway, so there's my hospital story. Somebody asked me to tell more hospital stories, so there's the latest.
Doesn't it make you guys wonder what else he's got?
What
other stories he's got to share?
I got stories. I can fill up hours of video.
I believe it.
That's definitely a memorable one.
I got this at Winco.
Ooh,
it's really dry. Probably do this with one hand. Oh yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
It's because the camera's on you. Get nervous.
There it is. There it is. Right.
That's how I feel whenever I chop wood with the camera on. I always jack it up.
Right? It would help if I had a good stump.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Time to get dinner going, and Joe is on it.
I guess.
We're having potatoes and onion soup.
So, yeah, potato, carrot, potato. I can't think right now. Bell pepper.
Other kinds of
hamburger.
foods and whatnot. There's hamburger over there on the cooler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can already kind of smell it.
Yeah.
Wafting through the air.
Great Salt Lake is like glass. We are very organized and tidy individuals. Are we not?
Why we get along.
Look, you know, this looks like chaos, but we know where everything is.
Right.
That's what's important.
No women welcome here today.
That's right.
There will be no organization.
Right. We don't need no stinking women touching our things.
Easy now.
What? Oh.
That's not making it to YouTube.
Yeah. I say stuff I shouldn't say.
Oh yeah.
So Joe here is sitting in the lap of luxury on this Alps mountaineering chair. This is like probably the nicest camp chair I've ever sat in my life. Even has a little storage pouch over here on the side. And the thing is, I have a new camp chair. A couple videos back I debuted it and I forgot it. Alright. Oh, that's nice. I always forget something.
Yeah, we both do.
I forgot that, and I forgot rain gear. Like, well, I don't need that. Look out there. It's coming.
Yeah. It's
Anyway, yeah. So Joe, Mr. Improvisation, I grabbed a log to sit on it, and he's like, "Hey, if you line them up together and use your blue sit pad, you'll have a pretty decent camp chair, Utah Steve." So I was like, "Oh, and by the way, speaking of screen names, I keep referring to Joe as Mr. T-Max. He is actually the artist formerly known as Mr. T-Max. He changed the name of his channel
to Joseph Shanks.
Joseph Shanks.
My name.
Just his name, Joseph Shanks, which is fine.
Simplifies.
But I keep calling him Mr. T-Max out of habit, and he corrected me and told me, "You know, I changed the name of my channel." I was like, "No, I didn't know." So
if I had some content that you would know that, you know.
yeah, we're working on it though.
We're working on it.
He's filming today, so maybe there will be another version of this trip in the future.
There should be.
Yeah,
Should
possibly.
Be. Yeah.
Kind of depending on what he does. The artist formerly known as Mr. T-Max. Joseph Shanks. Anyway, back to my chair. Check this out. One log for each cheek. Angled the same direction. Sit pad on top. Brilliant. Just brilliant.
Gets the job done.
Yes, it does. And here's dinner cooking away. Joe's got some charcoal going on. Dutch oven. This little stove's pretty cool. Did a good job
chimney.
heating up the charcoal. Yeah. So.
It's not ultralight, but it's pretty light.
My plan was to bring a butane stove with a butane cartridge and cook breakfast on that in the morning. I couldn't find it. Somewhere along the way, moving to my new house, I've misplaced it. So I literally have a little backpacking stove to cook breakfast on in the morning. A little tiny GSR. Is that what that company was?
BSR.
BSR.
Yeah.
GSR is the other.
GSI.
GSI.
They make some stuff.
I don't know my alphabet. I will be using fuel canisters and this little backpacking stove to cook breakfast in the morning. So, good times. That generator better not run all night. That's obnoxious. It's the only one. No one else is doing that.
Yeah. I could see like if they were, watching a TV and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
why drive out here and watch TV? The city's right out there. You could easily stay home and watch TV. Right. I don't understand.
Utah plates and all.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I go out here to get away from that stuff. To each their own, I guess. Until it encroaches upon me.
Right.
With obnoxious generator sounds.
Then crap's gonna hit the fan.
Yes. Joe said he's gonna go over there and brutally bludgeon them all with one of these logs. He said so. It was off camera, but he said that.
Allegedly.
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 In theory. I don't know. He didn't say that. But, we came out here for... Yes. Come out here for peace and quiet, and we're listening to their generator. Thanks, guys. Sure appreciate you. It's getting colder.
Yep.
Joe's getting on the hoodie.
Getting the layers.
And Utah Steve didn't bring a hoodie. So I don't have rain gear, I don't have a hoodie. But the thing is, I have my winter coat, my blue winter coat.
I'll do it.
So if this doesn't cut it, then eventually I'll put that on. We're getting close to dinner time, and it smells wicked good.
Starting to steam.
Oh my gosh. Check that out.
Now we actually brought plates this time.
Oh yeah.
So I won't have to fashion any Unity from cardboard.
What would we even use? Do we have cardboard to make plates from?
This time?
Yeah. Like last time you had that box we cut up.
Yeah, there's that box. That would have worked.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well, that just worked out really good.
Yeah. It's getting grayer and darker. You can see there how heavy and dark the clouds are getting.
Definitely raining.
Yeah. way out there we got rain over the Great Salt Lake. Kind of hazy out there. The camera really doesn't show how dark these clouds are, but actually they're really dark with the naked eye. All of those tissues, by the way, are Joe blowing his nose.
Man,
He's got allergies.
I'll use them though.
Yeah.
Put them to work.
Something
Wow.
you didn't know is snot makes an excellent fire starter.
Is that right?
Yes. It's little known fact. Native Americans used to blow their nose in Kleenex and light
Kleenex?
fires. Yeah, Kleenex.
Yeah. I wondered how long they've been around.
They they used to shave bark. They used deer antlers, and they would shave bark into sheets of Kleenex and fashion a Kleenex box from a hollowed out log.
Man.
And then they would like bang two rocks together, and they would hit the tissue and ignite. They'd go nuts. I've been awake a long time, guys. I worked last night, and I came home from work and went immediately to a soccer game for my son. And then I came home again, and I got some stuff ready for this camp out, and then I sat on my bed and passed out for 3 hours. And then I jumped up just as Joe texted me and says, "Be there in 5." And I'm like, oh, schnitzel. He's going to be here in 5 minutes. And I just woke myself up. So luckily I was already packed from a previous trip that didn't happen. And I just had to throw the food together and grab a few supplies when he showed up at my house. And here we are. So if I tell a lot of rambling stories that go nowhere, that's why.
And you're jacked up on caffeine.
I am. Caffeine and fatigue somehow are both coursing through my veins right now. We have felt a few drops here and there of rain. Just occasional sprinkles. So hopefully we can get some food in us and get in our tents before the rain really takes off. This is like one of those rambling things where I'm just standing there holding the camera talking, and I'm probably going to edit out half of this because I don't really, like, I watch it later and I'm like, what is my deal? Why am I doing that? Why am I still going on and on about there we go. Yeah.
Here's hoping.
Yep.
Oh yeah. That's done.
Is it done? Let's get a look at that.
Look at that.
Ooh.
Yeah, boy.
It looks like nothing. Just because it's dark. Where's my
dark.
flashlight? Ka-ching.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that. Trying to get, there we go. That's a good view of it. Looks awesome.
Smells good, doesn't it?
Steaming pile of Dutch oven.
Goodness. Well, shall we div it up?
Yeah.
Can I use this again?
Yep. It's getting chilly, huh?
Mm-hmm. Feed me, Seymour.
Here's our storm, guys. Big and ominous. The wind's been blowing cold. But the fire has been raging hot, courtesy of the artist formerly known as Mr. T-Max. I guess that's getting old. Stop saying it.
Not yet to me.
Funny.
It's only our first trip, Sam.
Yeah. Woo. Yep. Dang. Being I have the bunker.
Man, I better go.
You might be in for an adventure tonight.
I might be. I better go look.
That snug pack bunker. I don't worry too much about this wind, rain, anything. I think I'm going to be very comfortable in there. Joe's ultralight tent is more of a summertime tent, and it is spring, but this tent allows for a lot of airflow, and this storm looks to be pretty impressive. It's going to last about 12 hours, and then it'll move on. The rest of the week, next week, looks to be in the upper 50s and 60s, which is very welcome and sunny. But tonight is the storm. Tonight. I don't know what I'm gonna say now. There's gonna be something ominous and creepy. I really need more sleep. Okay guys, I am in the bunker. Joe and I hung out by the campfire for a while and talked. Looks like this lens is dirty. Yeah, there we go. Okay, and yeah, it's about 10 p.m. Got my little fairy lights on in here all strung up, giving me some nice ambient light. If I need it, I've got my headlamp hanging from the roof. But I don't think I need it. I can see just fine in here. So it's downtime. We have had a few sprinkles come through, and boy, that's really jacked up. Okay, we had a few sprinkles come through, a flash of lightning, some thunder, and then calm. The wind stopped blowing. The rain didn't really pick up. It's very quiet and calm now. I even saw a few stars earlier, so maybe our storm is going to peter out. I hope. So that's it. I'm going to go to bed. I'm just going to settle in, you know, dink around on my phone for a little bit, maybe meditate, and look forward to sleeping in the bunker. Sweet dreams, guys. I will talk to you soon. See you in the morning. Good night. It's raining really good now. It's about 1:30 in the morning, and I've been dozing, but I've also been listening to it rain. And there's been some animal outside the tent here, not very big, which is weird because it's raining so hard. You would think animals would stay away, but listen to that. I'm bone dry and nice and warm. Guess I'd better try to get some sleep. It's a great sound to fall asleep to. So for whatever reason, I can't seem to get to sleep. The rain is nice, but it's really coming down. It's pretty loud. And somebody has been running their generator all night. They're supposed to shut them off at 10 p.m. Some people don't care. But that's not really it. My mind is kind of racing. My stomach is empty. Dinner was quite a while ago, so I'm gonna have a little midnight snack. Spam single. And I've also got some MRE crackers and some Jif peanut butter. I've never filmed in the middle of the night in my tent before. I'm really hungry. I haven't slept much since, well, now it's Sunday, so since Friday. My brain just won't quit, so I'm gonna have this snack and see if that helps warm me up. And I'm not really cold, but maybe it'll help me feel better, raise my blood sugar. That's where it's at right now, and hopefully I can sleep. The good news is, you know, we go home tomorrow before lunch, maybe sooner if this rain doesn't let up, and just go home and go to bed. Good morning, guys. It is about 7:10. I was finally able to go to sleep after a while. It's still raining, but not as heavy. And I need to start breakfast. Let's see what today looks like. Lens is a bit foggy. Let's wipe that off. Misty, but not too bad compared to the pouring rain I listened to most of the night. Yeah, I can work with this. It's not too terribly wet. It is wet though. Breakfast is in here. I get my little stove and get this going. It's like Joe is... I didn't hear him all night, so it looks like he's still sleeping. Our bunker did really well. See how it deflected the water quite nicely. Didn't even feel a drop. Look at that. This storm's supposed to last till about noon, so we have about another 5 hours of this. So this morning we got steak. These are thin cut ribeye, seasoned. I seasoned them. Believe it or not, that's hash brown. They'll look better when they fry up. Also pre-seasoned. These are eggs with the ice cubes stuck to the washcloth, or not washcloth, the towel that they're in. That sounds appetizing. These are eggs a la washcloth. I'm not cooking on this. I just need something warm to drink to wake up and to warm my chilled bones. My hands are having a hard time functioning. There we go. Took me a minute to get that started. My lighter is in my pocket, warm enough, but my thumbs, I couldn't get them to light that flame. My little BRS stove, ultralight. Tiny. Hopefully it'll cook our food. The reason I'm using my aspit to heat water is just so I can have dual purpose, have the food going while I heat my water. Otherwise I just use this. Of course, it's not quite going to work because I need my windscreen for this too. I think what we're going to have to do is switch to the GoPro because this camera is not waterproof. The GoPro definitely is, so the sound will suffer, but the view will still be good. Campsites out there, but you can't have a fire, and you park and hike in about 200 feet, and so you sort of backpack at 200 feet, and then there's a trail going out to the point. I would zoom in, but GoPro doesn't work that way. Anyway, I can see right on the horizon where people have camped out there, and that is a future goal. I've actually reserved that during the winter, but the storms would move in and I would just end up not going out there. So, Ladyfinger Point is a future trip for sure. Probably, maybe in a couple of weeks when if the weather cooperates. I don't know if you can hear me, the wind's really going. Okay, I'll tell you what, these little fairy lights have been worth their weight in gold. They give me just enough light in here. It's a very dark tent. It's made for heavy weather like this, and I'm so glad I brought it. Tent has been great. The wind is blowing, but I'm warm and dry now. Got my 5-degree bag wrapped around me, and I'm feeling a lot better. Listen to that. When I hear Joe, we'll get back up and see what he wants to do. And $10, as Joe says, let's just throw everything in the Jeep and go to breakfast. Bet you I won't be cooking breakfast, which is fine with me. I can cook all that at home. We'll save it for another time. And Hurricane Antelope isn't hitting us. Oh. Just gonna chill in here until I hear Joe. I'm not positive, but I think Joe's out there doing some narrating for his video. Quite possibly. I heard someone talking, and he's the closest to me. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pack all what I've got here in the tent. Most of my gear is in the tent. Anything I didn't want to get wet, which is most of my stuff. My guy lines have come loose on my tent. This gravelly ground isn't very good for the stakes. What I want to do is have everything in my pack, so that if we do bug out, all I have to do is throw my tent in a bag and go. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to gather all this up and put it in my backpack. Except for the sleeping bag. That'll go in last. I need to keep warm. Oh, this is nuts, guys. This is, winter's over and spring has arrived with a vengeance. You can see through the mesh how my guy line has come loose, and the flap is just flopping around in the wind there. Most of my guy line's held. That one came loose. And in this bunker, if you don't keep these two mesh screens, there are two of them here, if you don't keep them zipped shut, that outer shell doesn't zip at the bottom. And as you can see, I got some water in the tent because I had the mesh open and the wind was blowing the outer shell and letting rain come in. So lesson learned, keep this zipped in bad weather. Anyway, let's pack this crap up. Look at this disaster. Got stuff everywhere. Okay, I've got everything put away except for my sleeping bag. I debated on putting the pad away. Really don't want to sit on the hard ground, so I'll put that away in a minute. And my coat's kind of spread out here to get some of the water to evaporate off of it. Everything else is in the pack here. This storm is pretty impressive. Talk about an adventure. Something interesting about this tent, I don't know if you can see, the inner wall is actually suspended from the outer wall. What that means is you can set up the fly first in the rain and then get underneath it and set up the inner part of the tent. That's the idea behind this bunker. So if you hit really sudden inclement weather and need to take shelter, you can get that fly up in a hurry and then worry about the inner part of the tent connecting to the shell later. The problem is that's kind of a pain in the butt to do it that way. And doing research online, I found out that anyone who owns this tent pretty much leaves it connected. You can see the connections there. They leave it connected even when they put the tent away. And that's what I do. I don't disconnect the two parts. I don't use it that way. I just pretty much open it and set it up, and it's been fine. I haven't had any problems with it that way. I guess that's an option if it comes down to it, if you keep the fly and the inner tent separate, but I don't. I keep them connected so I can just open it, set it up like any other tent, and just get on with it. I'll tell you what though, it's held up well. This is, when they call this a bunker, they mean it's a bunker. I am safe and dry and warm from all of the elements, and just chilling until I hear the golden voice of Joseph tell me, "Hey Steve, you think we should just pack up and leave?" Yeah, Joe, I do. I think we should go get breakfast instead of cook it, because I don't feel like getting soaking wet and freezing cold. We'll see what happens though. Maybe he'll want to. He still hasn't approached my tent or anything, so maybe that wasn't him that I heard earlier. Okay, no sign of Joe. I'm gonna walk over there. I'm gonna get my coat back on and walk over there and see what he wants to do. This is relentless. I couldn't possibly cook breakfast in this. I wouldn't be able to keep my stove lit. The wind is strong, the rain is hard. I think we're gonna have to bug out. I mean, if we were in the mountains far away from civilization, I would still consider that, but if we had to hike out to the car, unlike here, I would probably just stay in my tent. I have a bag full of snacks and whatnot, and I would subsist on that while I waited the storm out, really. But that's not what we have to do, is it? Let's go ask Joe what he wants to do. I'm gonna have to switch to the GoPro again. You awake in there?
Yeah.
This is nuts, dude.
It is nuts.
I got up for a little while to make breakfast, but it's like relentless. It's like raining and blowing sideways. So I went back in my tent. I think it's going to be really hard for me to keep my stove lit. Just being realistic.
Yeah.
This might be bug out worthy. I don't know how you feel. I mean, I'm okay either way. I keep waiting for it to let up and it won't. This is nuts. Yeah. Yep. I'll just hunker down in my tent for now. You staying dry?
So far.
Cool. Yeah. Yep, everything looks good out here. Alright, I'm gonna go get back in then. Okay, we're leaning towards bugging out, but he wants to wait it out a little longer. I don't know how much of that you can hear. He wants to see if it lets up at all. And so we're gonna just hunker down in our tents and see how it comes back to cool for now. Safety of the bunker. This is a gear test if ever there was one. Oh yeah, that's the stuff. Now I can switch back to the other camera. Well, we're back in the warmth and safety of the bunker. I don't know how much you could hear on that GoPro out there in that wind, so I'm going to say it again. And I guess if you can hear it okay on that camera, when I edit, then I'll just cut this out. We're going to stay a little longer. He wants to wait it out. He's warm and dry in his tent. He said he did have a rough night. Was awake a lot. He said he woke himself up yelling in his sleep. I didn't hear that. So I guess we both had kind of a rough night. I probably had too much caffeine in my system. I think that was my problem. Plus, when I'm awake as long as I was, I tend to get overtired and kick into, like, get a second wind and kick into high gear. I probably should have anchored that piece down right there that's flopping around. But I really don't want to go out there. The wind is really picking up. So, what a fantastic gear test though. I've never been more impressed with a tent in my life. You want a good 4-season tent? I highly recommend the Bunker. Really, probably, there are other snug pack tents that are probably just as bomb proof, but this is just right for me for this kind of weather. Can't believe Joe's over there in an ultralight, but he's warm and dry. So anyway, we are just gonna hunker down in our tents for a while and chill. I'm gonna climb back in my sleeping bag. I got my coat off to let it dry, because the last thing I need is a heavy wet coat on me. It's better than nothing at all. I wish I'd remembered my rain gear. I would have put that on before I went out there, but my pants are wet. I'm gonna climb in my 5-degree bag here and just get toasty and comfy and warm, and probably pull my phone out and maybe watch some YouTube. That's the plan for now. We'll see what happens with this weather, and whether breakfast is over there on the table or McDonald's. If you're wondering, condensation in this tent is a non-issue because the inner tent is suspended several inches from the outer shell. Plenty of airflow without it being cold at all or feeling the breeze. The air actually seems to circulate around the inner tent. So that's been nice not to have the usual condensation that comes with most tents. This is unreal, guys. The wind is a rocking and a rolling. This is definitely a trip to remember. Oh my. Truth be told, I'd rather be doing this than sitting in my bedroom watching a movie or something. But that's just me. I love a good rainstorm when you're home warm and safe in your house and you can just kind of cuddle up and enjoy listening to it rain outside from the safety of your four walls, solid four walls. But nothing beats this experience either. This isn't something you can just experience from sitting inside your house. I still have a tent set up in my backyard. I've been doing a gear test on the Teton Sports 4-man tent. By the time you see this, that gear test will be over and probably uploaded before this outing will be. But I wonder if it's even still standing in my backyard. Luckily, my son Murphy, he's home. He's been keeping an eye on it. Whoops. He's been keeping an eye on it for me. It's definitely a summertime tent. And so if it's storming this much at my house, I'm a bit concerned that tent is dry and frankly still in the same place if it's windy like this at my house. I live right at the foothills of the mountains, so the wind just howls down my street. It's enough to lift up a trampoline and take it to town, you know. We'll see if it's still there when I get back, I guess. You'll probably already know that before I do right now. Because frankly, from your perspective, that video's already up. This is a good gear test too. Wow. So I just got a text from Joe over in his tent. I yield, LOL. I'm ready to bug out if you are. Yeah, I think we've had enough. We've been laying here for maybe another hour, maybe longer. I don't know. I haven't kept track, but I think we've both had enough of this storm, and we're just gonna bug out. I'll do the steak and eggs at home. That'll be my lunch, I guess. Actually, it'll still be my breakfast because we haven't really eaten. But it's time, my friends. It's time to pack up and get the freak out of Dodge. It's been a fun camp out. Let's pack up and go home where it's dry and warm. Joe has a long drive home too. He has to drive back to Boise, so I don't blame him a bit. You know, we have this reputation, he and I, of having these campouts where things just go wrong. The first time we met met on the Wheeler Creek Trail a couple years ago, and we tried to set up camp. It started snowing sideways. It was April. So this freak storm came up and basically all my gear got wet, my water bladder leaked into my bag, and we ended up chit-chatting, packing up our gear, and heading to a Mexican restaurant. There have been a couple other outings where we just decided the evening was enough, and we went our separate ways. You know, no conflict or anything. Just felt like we'd had enough fun in the mountains for the evening, and had other things we wanted to do. That's what I like about camping with Joe, is it's pretty open-ended. You know, if the camp out doesn't work out for whatever reason, could be anything. No big deal, no hard feelings. We do it again later. So this has been a successful camp out, and it's been happy and fun. It's just been very stormy, and when you go out into nature, you need to respect it and accept the fact that it's in charge and it will own you. You need to just pretty much roll with nature and learn to live around it, and not the other way around. You can't really do anything about the awesome power of nature. Anyway, I'll shut up. I'm gonna get everything in my bag here so I can take the tent down, and yeah, I guess that's it. I'll shut up. Got in their truck and drove off this morning. They left the tent there. And it's not looking too good. Yeah. That ends another adventure, and I'd say it was one.
Yeah, that counts.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm Utah Steve. That is the artist formerly known as Mr. T-Max. Check out his channel that's growing. Joseph Shanks, right?
Joseph Shanks.
The whole Joseph?
Yes.
Okay, Joseph Shanks. And we'll see you in the next video. I think it's time for breakfast.
Yeah, I think so. I'm starving. See you guys.